Hey Bearcats, welcome back. I am AB Stocks here today with Abby Owings, who is the Director of Scouting and Analytics for your UC Bearcats. Welcome, Abby.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and excited for year 3 with the Bearcats.
Awesome. So as far as the scouting perspective goes, talk to us a little bit about your role in scouting, and then we'll go into the analytics. But you know what? Maybe we'll go analytics first because you're a numbers person.
Yeah. So analytics are becoming a big part of the game today in basketball. WNBA, NBA, they all use numbers to back up kind of what they're seeing. I'll give you a good example. Like, we may think we're getting killed in a ball screen, but realistically, when you look at the numbers, it's only been two times, so having that real-time data, I think, for Trina and our staff is beneficial because we don't spend all of our timeouts talking about well, we can't defend this ball screen when it only happened twice, so Trina can spend more time drawing up a play or talking about a different defense. And I like those things, and I think it helps back up also, like, with the players in our rotations. Trina's big on rotations, who plays well together in the games. And so let's say we have, a team we're playing that plays primarily zone. So I can say, Trina, here's who's shooting well in the game today, and we can put those lineups out there. So just different ways to piece together how we can be successful on the court and just backing it up with the numbers. So
now how much of this are you using technology and some of the AI tools available, and how much of these number crunching are you having to be creative and intuitive on the spot, and how much is it a balance of both?
I think it's a little bit of both for me personally. I know that there's several other scouting analytics assistants, coaches out there, and they'll probably tell you something different. But I think that's the beauty of coaching. You got to find what works for you and what works for your staff. So for us, we use a system called Just Play. It can literally track any stat you could possibly think of, which is awesome. We use it for our scouting reports. We use it for our team, just in general, to see, hey, if we're trying to get somebody to rebound the ball better, we can show them their stats, and we can show them, like, even where they're rebounding the ball at and why, they're not getting it because they're not getting 2 feet in the paint, stuff like that, So, and for me personally, I love to track things myself because sometimes the data can get skewed. Numbers can get skewed sometimes just because there's so many of them. So, for example, in the game, I like to track whether we're getting beat in defensive transition or if we're getting beat in the half court. And that's something that I have a tracker sheet for in the game. And I'll kind of write my notes on it, make check marks, and then after the game, I'll type it all up. So it's a little bit of both. The rotations itself, those are handwritten. So anytime Trina puts somebody into the game or takes them out, you're writing it down, you're seeing what time's on the clock, and then we kind of move from there. So it's a little bit of both.
So during the live action of the game, your engagement is in 4 different spots at the same time, it sounds like, with lineups and the stats and communication with Coach Merriweather and relationships and engagement with the players. How does that work?
So luckily I've had a couple great managers that have helped with some of this stuff. One of our managers, her name is Maggie. She helps me with the lineups during the game. So I will have a good idea and I'll write them down myself, but she's also doing it in case I miss something. So that's just one way that we kind of stay organized in that capacity. The defensive stuff, that's a little bit easier for me to watch because it's, every possession you're on defense or every other possession you're on defense. So there's that part of it there. And then if it's my scout, I'm primarily focused on the other team and what they're doing. And so I'll ask another manager and or another assistant coach to kind of help me with the defensive stuff. And where we're getting beat. So, we're a sisterhood, we're a family, we help each other out.
Nice.
So
now, as a coach, you have been selected for a top 30 under 30. So congratulations on that WBCA recognition. Talk to me a little bit about that experience and what it was like for you and some ways that being a part of this great program has opened up doors.
Yeah, it's really cool. This is the second time in my career I've been able to achieve something like that. So we talk about it all the time in this program, Ubuntu. I am who I am because of who we all are. I wouldn't have been able to do something like that if it weren't for this amazing staff that I'm around every day. Our student athletes, they're the reason why we do all of this. And I owe a big part of my career to Trina, giving me the opportunity to come here. And I told her, I said, hey, I'll come be your director of folding the laundry. I don't care. I just want to be on your staff. And so for her to put me in a coaching position right away and believe in me, it's been nothing short of amazing. And I learned something new from her every single day and our staff.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So you as a player locally at Thomas More, mm-hmm. 3-time team captain and a Division III national champion. Mm-hmm. Congratulations on that. So success as a coach and a player. So what was that like, winning a national championship?
Well, it's why you play the game. I mean, it's probably one of the best feelings in the whole entire world. You know, I talk to people a lot about basketball in general, and, you know, they'll say, oh, you're a national champion. And sometimes I forget, like, you know, it's just you get caught up in whatever you're doing. And, you know, and so I'm really proud of that. I met some of my best friends in life through that journey and through that time at Thomas More. I played for an incredible coach who is a big reason why I'm in coaching today. And so the national championship, I mean, you know, it's something that no one can take away from you for the rest of your life. And you get to be a winner for the rest of your life. So it was amazing. Yeah.
As a player, what did you bring to the game that you hope to see translated in some of the players here at UC?
Well, you know, at Thomas More, it was a Division III school, so none of us were on an athletic scholarship. We simply played basketball because we loved the game. I paid to play basketball. And so, you know, I loved the game with everything that I had. I still do. I worked every single day like it was going to be taken away from me. And so I don't know that there's a skill set that I would say, you know, I want any of them to have, like a crossover or a behind-the-back pass, but just to work as hard as they can every day and be passionate about what you do. I think that would be what I would want for them.
And who on this team emulates that? A lot of feedback that I've gotten, Reagan Jackson is often compared to you when it comes to being fiery and feisty and just nose to the ground, working hard. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that comparison?
I think she's talking about Abby, but Abby Jump. But Reagan and I are very much similar when it comes to passion. Reagan wakes up in the morning and thinks about basketball and loves being here and loves being a part of this team and being a part of the sisterhood. Reagan's always in the gym. I bet you could ask anybody in Fifth Third Arena, from the janitors to the volleyball coach to whoever, and they would tell you, oh yeah, I saw Reagan in the gym shooting today, you know. And but that's her passion. That's what she does, and you're never going to take that away from her, and that's what I love about her. And the coolest part is that she wants to be a Bearcat, and when you coach somebody like that, it makes all of this worth it, for sure.
Nice. So, looking back to the summer, mm-hmm. foreign tour to Italy, mm-hmm. who helped connect all the dots and magically put that together?
I would say I had a big hand in that. You know, when Trina said she wanted to do a foreign tour, we spent months trying to figure out where we were going to go. And then once we figured out it was going to be Italy, okay, now we got to find the dates, right? And then you got to get a company to help you with the travel part of it. And then you got to find the flights, So there's a lot of moving parts in all of this. And it was really cool. I had never planned a foreign tour before. So it was really cool to just see how all of it works and try to put it together. We are so thankful for the people that donated money to allow us to do something like this. It is something that our players will never forget. And I think that was the main thing. Yes, we played basketball. Yes, we did sightseeing tours, but they got to spend time with each other in a country that is absolutely beautiful, and they'll never forget it. And so if I could say I had a hand in helping plan it, and it was pretty successful. We made it back, so it was pretty successful, in my opinion. Then, I think we would call it a success.
So what are the benefits for a team to take a trip? I know the NCAA allows 10 practices over the summer.
Yeah.
So in addition to the extra practice time, why would Coach Merriweather make such an investment, and John Cunningham, the athletic director, why would such an investment be made in a foreign trip?
Yeah, we have, and we knew this all along, we were going to have a large freshman class. And to be exact, we have 6 of them. And then we have 2 transfers and then 5 returners. So we knew we had a new team, and we knew it was going to be important to give them the opportunity to bond in the summertime and spark these relationships that will ultimately help us have that chemistry on the court. So I would just say the team bonding aspect would be the biggest thing in why we did this. And I would say additionally too, Trina is big on the student athlete experience here. And so if we can expose them to something that they're not used to seeing every day, I think that's part of all of this. So
when it comes to relationships, relationships with the staff, with each other,
yeah.
And then of course the staff with the players, and then the players with each other, how would you describe the unique pulse on relationships?
Yeah, I think the best relationships happen organically. As I mentioned earlier, there's 6 freshmen, there's 2 transfers, there's 5 returners, and so we're new, and the best relationships also take time, and so you build some of these relationships in recruiting, and with the transfer portal now, it's like speed dating. You have to try to figure out, these recruits in a short amount of time. But I think it's always important to be true to who you are, and just completely be yourself. And eventually you'll spark, what could be a great relationship, or whatever it may be. I enjoy getting to know people. I enjoy listening. I've always been a listener over a talker, and so hearing the players and listening to their stories is always something that I enjoy. And once you gather that information and you start to talk with them about basketball or something that's important, and you know a little bit about where they come from, you can start to try to relate to them in whatever area it is. So I kind of do the same thing with the staff as well. We all come from different coaching trees and different families and stuff, and so I enjoy listening to their journeys, and then eventually we kind of click on something. And I'm biased, but I think we have one of the best staff cultures and player cultures in the country. So I think that, and it starts at the top with Trina, of course.
Well, in addition to Coach Merriweather, what drew you to UC? What made you want to turn down so many other opportunities? I mean, you could be coaching a lot of places. As we mentioned, you're a WBCA honoree twice now. So what drew you to UC? Why be a Bearcat?
Yeah. So the history with Trina and the staff goes back a little bit. Abby Jump is my best friend outside of the profession, and in the profession. I see her more than I see my dad. I feel like we see each other all the time. But it feels like we've been friends for 20 years, but realistically, I think it's been about 10. And so Abby's worked for Trina for about 8 to 10 years now. And whether they were at Wright State or Memphis, I would always go hang out with Abby, and Trina would allow me to come to practices. And that's when I got to know Ashley Barlow. And that's when I got to really start to know Trina. And, you know, from there, it kind of grew. And so I was in my last year at my previous school, and I was on the road recruiting in Chicago, and Trina was there. And I said, Trina, hey, if you have a second, I'd love to talk to you. And she was at Memphis at the time. And I said, hey, if you ever have a spot open on your staff, I'd love to work for you someday. And you know, I loved where I was at previously. There were no issues, but the opportunity to work for Trina is hard to, it's just amazing. So I told her, I said, hey, you ever have opportunity, I would love to work for you. And she said, Ao, if any of my assistants ever leave, like, you're on my short list. And I smiled and I said, well, Trina, hear me out. Like, I don't need to be an assistant coach. Like, I just want the opportunity to work for you. And I said, I'll come be the director of folding the laundry. And she laughed. And so she smiled at me and she said, noted. And so when she got the Cincinnati job, they needed a director of basketball operations, and she called. And I remember I did a lap around my apartment in Richmond, Kentucky. And so here I am, and I'm very thankful to be in the sisterhood and having a mentor like Trina and the rest of the staff. This is a family, and this is a family business, and we all love each other. And, I know that people just say that, like, oh, we all love each other. No, it's real. And I hope if you come watch our games, or you just sit in a room with us, you can feel that. So,
what are some parting points of pride that you hope the players, each student athlete, has during their experience here within the Bearcat Sisterhood that gives them that exposure or that added spice to their youth development?
I hope they look back and just say, man, I had a great time. I think about, even to this day, I think about how much fun I had playing the game in college, and all the relationships that I created in college, and teammates and coaches and donors and all of this stuff. And so I hope they look back and are thankful for just the time that they had here and the relationships that they created with their teammates and coaches. And I think that they're going to be happy with the foundation that they are continuing to lay for groups that are to come after them. I think that's what this is all about, paving the way for the next group. And, you were one of those people that helped us get to where we are now. You crawled so we could walk, and they're walking so the next group could jog. And then we're going to be running, So I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that they look back on and say, yeah, we did that. So.
That's awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Abby, and not just for today, but for everything you do for the program and the tireless effort that you put in and day out, so that the student athletes, the alumni, the fans, the community, everyone can enjoy Bearcat basketball. So we appreciate you.
Absolutely. This is awesome.